Today is my birthday. How fun is that? This is my special birthday celery talk. So I hope everyone is having as good a day as I am. I started it with this badass soul cycle class, and I gotta tell you, my birthday's in past history. Same thing, right? I wasn't really super active. Let's just say I was probably pretty hungover, actually. So I started partying like the week of my birthday. So maybe it's a good thing my birthday is on a Tuesday this year. Anyway, I am 40 years old, and look at this skin. I'm not bragging. Yes, I am. If I don't toot my own horn, who's gonna toot it? Right? Wait, did that get weird? Whatever. Okay, so I'm 40. I look fabulous because I drink, guess what? Celery juice. Check out all of this celery that I got. So I went to the farmer's market over the weekend and I bought them out. I can't even believe that we still have celery. Like, I would say, like, this would not be the celery I would choose to actually like dip into ranch. And by the way, I love ranch. So this is a little bit ugly, but he's gonna juice up just fine. Okay guys, what are we talking about? How are we celebrating our personal development today? Well, I got woken up yesterday by a bunch of construction in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, well, what better time then while the jackhammering is going on, but to think about what the hell am I gonna talk about during Celery Talk? And I actually came up with some pretty awesome shit. So, I have a couple questions for you. Okay, so, question number 1 is, what if we stopped focusing on what doesn't work and we started focusing on what does? And that sounds simple because, by the way, guess what? Everything in change, transformation, and personal development is actually pretty simple. Choose the simple route. As my coach loves to say, easy does it. But what if we stopped focusing on what doesn't work in our lives and we start focusing on what does? And I'm not saying let's just dismiss the goddamn hot mess maybe we're dealing with. I am just saying, for a moment, could we refocus on what we know is working in our lives? So maybe we're falling off the wagon of our eating plan or our gym going or our journaling or working on our hobby, right? Or working on our side hustle. Maybe we're feeling like that doesn't work for us, but what if we could start focusing on what does? Because I promise there is something in your life that is working out. And something happens when you refocus. When you refocus on something that gives you a little jolt of energy, that makes you feel rewarded, you start to get that dopamine and that serotonin running through your body, and then you're like, oh shit, I could do some more stuff. Because what you do when you refocus and what you focus on expands, and where focus goes, energy flows, you start to feel like you're in a more resourceful state, right? You start to go, oh, wait, that is great. Oh, and then you start having gratitude. You feel like you've got a little bit more energy. Maybe you're actually a little bit more clear and you're more able to solve a problem that maybe was on your mind for a little bit. Diverting your energy away from a really challenging problem, just even for a minute, and focusing on something good. Don't pick up another shitty problem, but refocus on something good. Well, now you've got a little jolt of energy, you've got some momentum, you've got a reward. Now you can go back, and I guarantee you that problem is actually gonna dull down in its intensity, and you'll probably even approach it by going, I got this. I actually always knew it. Do you ever notice that, like, you walk away from something, you're like, I've had it, and you walk away, and then you come back and you're like, oh, there it is, eureka, aha, right? That's when we have the aha moment, is because we lower our resistance and we get into gratitude. So we get our brain working in a resourceful state, not in stress. We're not solving any problems when we're stressed out. We're in survival mode. We're not in resource mode. Okay, I have another question, topic, suggestion. Is what if we tried, or we stopped trying to go back and fix things, that problem, and instead we created something new? I'm gonna use health again as a thing, or a personal anecdote. Is that what I was doing is I was joining all these fancy gyms because I was going back and I was trying to be like, okay, I went to Equinox. I had an Equinox membership for like 2 years. You guys, I went twice. That means it cost me about $1,000 a time to go. That is so crazy and pathetic. But the point of me saying this is what I was trying to do is fix my need to go to the gym, and maybe if I went to a fancier gym, then I would do it, right? But instead, could I create something new? And what I did was I created a newness of going somewhere that was near home, totally new, a class. I got excited about it. So instead of trying to go back and fix this issue of like, I've got to go to the gym. I hated the gym, you guys. I'd walk in and be like, I don't know even what to do. What do I do on this machine? And I was at a trainer. But it just wasn't my speed, man. It just wasn't my bag. But now I go to SoulCycle and I get that. I don't have to think. I just got to show up, and they kind of help me do the work for me. So instead of going back and trying to fix an old problem, is it possible to create something new? The same goes, maybe it's sales, right? Like maybe you're in sales, maybe you're running your own business, or you're working in ad sales like I used to. And you're like, oh man, I'm not selling these accounts, or I'm feeling really frustrated, they're not calling me back. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do the same thing that I was doing before in an attempt to fix my problem. Or create something new. Try a new approach, Google something, ask a colleague, do something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And we have this fixed thinking that we must go back and do these things that are in the past and do them over and work on them and really get in deep and process it. And generally that shit doesn't work. Nothing changes. Drop that, create something new. Create a new solution, create a new outlook, a new perspective, new language, a new way to talk about it, a new way to be with it, a relationship with your problem. So these are two things to ponder, my personal development students, is what if we were to focus on what is working instead of what isn't working? And what if we were able to, instead of going back and fixing these old problems, we actually create something new? And I'm open to any suggestions that you have, or challenge me on this. But these are two really simple ways to just rewire yourself. Just rewire the programming in your body to say, I choose to see what is good about this situation. What's working for me in the debt that I've accumulated, in the body that I'm living in the business that I've created, in the spiritual practice that I'm having a hard time with. What if I, instead of going back and trying to fix stuff, it makes me feel bad and guilty, instead I go, I'm gonna create something new. I'm gonna create a whole new approach, a whole new persona, a whole new becoming me. How awesome does that feel? Creation feels good. It feels joyous and inspiring, not suffering and struggle and stress. You can transform in a state of struggle and stress and strife, or you can transform in a state of joy and inspiration. What would you prefer? Ask yourself that question. I love you guys. Have the best possible day that you could in your whole life. I love you so much. I'll see you later. Damn, that was supposed to go on.